What was supposed to be just another action-packed night on Monday Night Raw in Detroit quickly turned into one of the most thrilling and chaotic mixed tag team battles in recent WWE memory, a collision of strength, speed, and strategy that saw factions clash, tempers explode, and one Intercontinental Champion humiliated in front of a sold-out crowd of nearly 15,000. The night was already electric with the crowd chanting AJ Styles long before the bell even rang, signaling their anticipation for the phenomenal one to finally get his hands on Dominik Mysterio. But before we got to that boiling point, the match unfolded with brutal precision, showcasing the raw power of Raquel Rodriguez and the tactical sharpness of Roxanne Perez, who took the fight directly to the Kabuki Warriors, particularly zeroing in on Kairi Sane. Raquel, a multiple-time tag team champion, demonstrated why she holds that distinction as she whipped Kairi Sane into the corner with relentless intensity and followed up with a devastating splash that echoed across the arena. With a tag made to Roxanne Perez, the match began to shift gears, and the chemistry between Raquel and Roxanne became undeniable. The pair operated with a ruthless efficiency, cutting the ring in half and isolating Kairi Sane from her partner Asuka. Time after time, they executed quick tags and double-team maneuvers that left Kairi barely hanging on, and the crowd could feel her desperation. The cover attempts came fast and furious, but each time, Kairi Sane found just enough strength to kick out, showcasing her resilience despite being systematically dismantled. As the beatdown continued, Dominik Mysterio lingered on the apron, avoiding the tag like a plague, clearly terrified of facing the man the fans were screaming for, AJ Styles. Dominik's strategy was simple: let his Judgment Day teammates do the dirty work and keep himself fresh for his Intercontinental title defense at SummerSlam. He was medically cleared after nursing a rib injury, but clearly he was in no rush to test his health against someone like Styles. The crowd's chants grew louder as they noticed Dom taunting AJ from across the ring, a tactic meant to boost morale for the Judgment Day, but only served to anger the phenomenal one further. Meanwhile, the domination continued in the ring as Roxanne slammed Kairi into the apron and went for another cover, only for Kairi to survive once again. The audience, divided between chants of AJ Styles and Dirty Dom, watched on as the battle raged with no signs of slowing. The decibel level hit new highs as Kairi Sane, finding a second wind from deep within, climbed the ropes and launched herself with a press and a spear, finally creating a window of opportunity. Inch by inch, she crawled towards Asuka, the WWE Universe willing her forward, desperate for a tag that could change the tide. Just as her fingers nearly touched, Raquel Rodriguez re-entered and blocked the tag again. But Kairi, running on pure adrenaline and instinct, slipped behind her powerhouse opponent and drove Raquel shoulder first into the ring post, opening the path she needed. With every ounce of strength, she leapt and tagged in Asuka, just as AJ Styles, shouting across the ring that he was coming for Dominik, got his chance too. The crowd erupted as Dominik was legally forced into the match for the first time. There was no more hiding. He pleaded with Roxanne to get back on her feet, but it was too late. Styles came in like a man possessed, slamming Dom with a sliding forearm and quickly following up with his signature Ushigoroshi. The arena was shaking, not just from the volume, but from the impact of AJ's vengeance. Dominik's nightmare was now reality, and he was trapped. Just as Styles lined up for the phenomenal forearm, Roxanne heroically dove into the ring to protect Dominik, sacrificing herself to take the hit. Her loyalty was evident, but it only delayed the inevitable. A distracted Dom tried to go for a cheap shot, only to eat a Pele kick that knocked him silly. Roxanne tried again to help, but Asuka entered like a whirlwind, taking her out with a kick. Raquel tried to interfere but got knocked down by Asuka as well. Suddenly, the match had turned into complete chaos. With the Judgment Day allies scattered, the Kabuki Warriors took flight, and Kairi Sane ascended to the top rope. The Pirate Princess soared through the air and delivered her breathtaking insane elbow, crashing into Dom like a missile. The audience was on their feet, losing their minds at the unfolding mayhem. But it wasn't over. AJ Styles, now fully in control, stalked his prey. Dominik, groggy and disoriented, turned around only to be met midair by the phenomenal forearm, one of the most devastating finishers in professional wrestling, executed with flawless precision. The cover was made, the referee counted to 3, and the bell rang to declare the victorious team. The crowd exploded as the announcement echoed throughout the arena. The winners were the Kabuki Warriors and AJ Styles. It was a humiliating loss for Dominik Mysterio, who had spent the entire match avoiding conflict only to be knocked out cold when it mattered most. The Judgment Day's strategy had failed, and Dominik's cowardice had been exposed for the world to see. The WWE Universe didn't just witness a match, they saw a turning point. AJ Styles had made his statement. He pinned the Intercontinental Champion in the center of the ring, sending a clear message ahead of SummerSlam that he was coming for the gold, and he wasn't going to stop until he ripped it from Dom's hands. Meanwhile, Raquel and Roxanne's dominance had been undone by one moment of distraction and miscalculation, proving that even the most well-oiled tag team can crumble under the weight of pressure when momentum swings the other way. And the Kabuki Warriors, thought to be on the ropes for most of the match, showed their true fighting spirit by surviving long enough to capitalize on that one window of opportunity. It was a match that had it all: betrayal, resilience, passion, and redemption. And for the fans in Detroit, it was a night they would never forget. As AJ Styles stood tall with his hand raised, staring down at the broken shell of Dominik Mysterio, it was clear this war was far from over. SummerSlam was just around the corner, and if this chaotic bout was any indication, the Judgment Day was about to be judged. And even as the crowd roared in celebration, there was an unmistakable undercurrent of tension, the kind that can only come when the dust settles after a chaotic battle, but the war itself has only just begun. AJ Styles didn't smile as his hand was raised by the referee. No, he wasn't there to celebrate. He was there to send a message, and he knew that every camera, every fan, and most importantly, every member of the Judgment Day was watching. As Dominik Mysterio lay sprawled out on the mat, gasping for breath and staring up at the lights in humiliation, AJ didn't even spare him another glance. He turned his attention to the ropes, climbed to the top, and raised his arms high above his head, signaling that this was only the beginning, that SummerSlam would be his reckoning. And the expression on Dominik's face said it all: fear, regret, confusion, and a realization that he was no longer protected by circumstance. The Judgment Day had failed him. Raquel Rodriguez, still nursing the impact of being slammed into the ring post, slowly pulled herself to her feet outside the ring, her expression furious, her pride wounded. Roxanne Perez, meanwhile, was bar.